We just suddenly were in the bush and I was like, oh my god, this is it, we will die now. Hello, how's it going? I don't know what accent that was. Hey, I keep clapping a lot, I don't know why I do that, I'm turning into like Dodie. That wasn't an insult, I love Dodie. Anyway, elephants, hey. It sounded like I was calling everyone that's watching this elephants. That's a compliment. They're lovely creatures and they're smart and they are just beautiful, but sometimes deadly. Anyway. So today I'm going to try and do a bit of a story time kind of thing. We will see how it turns out. I'm not that hopeful, but we'll see. So basically I'm going to tell you guys about the time I went to South Africa. Just a few little stories from that trip, a few near-death experiences, that kind of thing, as you see in the title up there, or down there if you're on a phone. Okay, let's get started. So, in May 2015, I went on a trip with my college for 2 weeks to South Africa. We went to 4 different places in South Africa. We stayed at 4 different places. We went to lots of places. Well, we went to South Africa and Swaziland as well, so yeah. We stayed at Kruger National Park, Moholoholo, Somkonda Game Reserve, and a place in Swaziland that I cannot remember what it was called. But it was in Swaziland. I'll put them on the screen if I remember get their proper names. And it was amazing, and if you've ever been to South Africa you know how amazing it is, and if you haven't been, 100% go before you die because it's incredible. I went on I need to stop saying I'm sorry. Good, straight away. I did a animal management course at college, so we went to see all different animal places and do animal related activities, like game drives. We went to a few different like African zoos to see what they were like. We did some rhino tracking and just loads of stuff actually, yeah, loads of different things. So let's get into the scary parts. I do have some footage of some things. I'll include some photos as well because you know what? Have some photos now. Look, that was all photos there. Remember to put those in, editing me, otherwise you look like an idiot. So I think I'll just start off talking about my elephants experiences. Basically, there's a few different ones. We almost died a few times, me and my group. We were in Kruger National Park on a game drive, which was great but also very long, and if you don't see anything for a while it gets pretty boring, and then you see something and everything's worth it. So yeah, there was 9 of us, I think. There was 9 of us including our teacher, and then we had a game driver who was from South Africa, but he went everywhere with us. He was called Rudy. He was very cool. And yeah, we just drove around Kruger National Park for a couple of days. I think it was 3 days in total we did there, driving. And we saw loads of stuff. I'm trying to think of the best thing I saw. Probably the elephants, to be fair. So yeah, the first incident happened when we were driving and there was a big elephant, a male, in the middle of the road. And obviously we stopped and just waited back a bit. But he was there for a long time, we were sat for so long, so our game driver Rudy, he was a bit crazy, I'll be honest, he was a little bit scary, decided he was going to try and drive past an elephant, which if you know anything, you shouldn't do that, don't do that, especially if this elephant was in must. If you don't know what must is, it's like a hormonally kind of thing. You can tell because they have glands on the side of their head and they like dribble this like hormone liquid stuff out of it, and they also like kind of pee as they walk. There's a lot going on. But basically, at that time, when they're in must, they're a lot more aggressive and unpredictable and like scary. And they get more frightened by sudden sounds and movements. Sudden car driving past them, not a good idea. funnily enough. So he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go. I can't do a South African accent, but I'm gonna try in this video. I'm gonna not hold back. No offense to any South Africans. It's a great accent. It's one of my favourites, but I just can't do it. Yeah, so he said, let's just drive past. And this elephant turned away from us into the bush to get some grass or whatever, I don't know, some tree bits. He's like playing around. And then Rudy just floors it past him. Just completely floors it. Now, the elephant turns back to us. Let's just give you a picture of the vehicle that we are in. There's no sides to this vehicle. The doors are made of like fabric. We're in a fabric vehicle. We're just in a big pillow. Not even a pillow, that would provide more support and protection than this vehicle would have. Literally, I was in the middle of the vehicle at the back as well, because there's like 3 rows of 3, and I was in the dead middle, thank God, because like everyone around me is more likely to die first. Basically this elephant turns around as we zoom past, and like his head skims the side of the vehicle. He had to like swerve around it, and its tusk like scraped the fabricy part, but like it didn't pierce it or anything. But if he was a second slower, or if the elephant was a second faster, then it would have gone straight through that, and it would have impaled the girl next to me, and I would have been like, oh my god, did I get it on camera? No, I'm just kidding. I would be like, oh my god, are you okay? I think I did get some footage of it. I got footage of it happening, but I don't think I got a very good clip of it. But if I do, I'll insert it here. I'll probably have to take the sound out because there's a lot of swearing. Not from my part, from the people around me in their fear. But yes, if I have it, it's here. Enjoy.
Yeah, just drive off.
Oh my god! Oh shit! Okay, if you just watch that clip, if I inserted it, you will know that it was pretty close. It wasn't the best footage, like I said, I was in the middle, it was hard to get an angle, but it was pretty close, right? Okay, then that was the first day, right? The second day, everyone was a bit on edge because we'd had this experience with this elephant. It doesn't sound that dramatic, but like when you're there and you see how big this elephant is, you're like, you could take me if you wanted to, you know? So you just stay back. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm just here to look at how amazingly beautiful you are. Yeah, anyway, this was the next day then. Everyone's a little bit like, ooh, are we gonna get killed by an elephant today? Is Rudy gonna do something else stupid? The answer is yes, funnily enough. And then we come across this rhino, right? Big old rhino, white rhino, in the middle of the road, just standing there being amazing. And we pull up to it and we're like, we'll just wait patiently for you, Mr. Rhino, to do your thing. And then you move on, we will go. He's like stood horizontally on the road, so like we can see all of him in his glory. And he faces us, turns around, and we're like, oh, this would be funny if this was like the elephant thing. Ha 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 ha. Then Mr. Rhino gets his foot and goes and like scrapes as if he's about to charge us, and we're like, woohoo! Do you know the elephant? Has he told you to do this? Because what have we done to deserve this? None of the other groups had any experiences like this. We had so many experiences. By the way, that other story was not my near-death experience with an elephant. It kind of was, but there's more to that. There's a way worse one. Yeah, the rhino just was scary. That was just a scary thing that happened. But he eventually did move on and he didn't charge us, but he did look angry. Now this is the actual elephant story, this one. So this was the same day as the rhino, but we'd already had the other elephant happen. So we were like, ooh, you know, a little bit cautious about the old elephants. Before that I was like trying to touch them. No, I'm joking, you're not allowed to touch them. But like, you know, if Rudy had told me to get out of the car, I probably would have. But then as soon as that happened, I'd be like, oh, actually I don't think you're the one to trust in this, Rudy. I love you, rude stuff, but you don't know what you're doing. So, we drive down the road, there's a massive queue of cars, so there's like loads of people around, there's a big old queue. Rudy, stupidly, doesn't think, oh, I wonder why there's a queue, that seems strange, maybe we should just wait at the end of the queue. No, 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 the road's wide enough. He's like, I'm going around the queue, I'm going to the front of the queue. And I'm like, oh, why are you doing this? I'm still in the middle, by the way, at the back, thank God. So as we're driving up, we realise they've all stopped because there's a big elephant in the road. Now this elephant is the biggest thing I've ever seen in my real life ever. In my real life. My fake life I've seen loads, but in my real life, no. It's massive, and he also is in must, so he's also got his lovely dribbly bits saying, hey, I'm a little bit more unpredictable, I'm probably gonna attack you, but I mean, even though I'm lovely and clever and big, and I know that you're just not gonna hurt me. So, we are like, to be fair, this whole time while this was all happening, every single one, I was so happy to be there. I was filming it like with the biggest grin on my face. People around me were crying. They were actually crying real tears, and I was like, I just love everything. And I was fine with this elephant coming near us. There was a few moments where I was a bit like, ooh, stay back please. But it was more afterwards when I realised what could have happened. That's when I was really scared. And when I watched the footage back, I was like, oh, that's actually quite scary. I can't believe I was in that situation. But during it, I was like the freak in the middle, like, I love this, you know. So we pull up to the front of these things, and we're saying to Rudy on the way up, there's a big elephant, why are you pulling up to it? That makes no sense. And he's like, these people don't know what they're doing. We need to get to the front, because he knows what he's doing, right? That's what he says. That was a bad accent. I need to get in the South African zone. And he thinks, basically what he's saying is, if we get to the front, he knows more what he's doing than the other people, because the other people are just they're not in game cars, they're just in normal cars, because, you know, it's a bit like Longley, but to the extreme, you know. They're just in their own cars with like monkeys on the roof and a big elephant in front of them. Anyway, we pull up to the front, elephant turns around. Of course it does. Of course it does. Of course it bloody does. There's an elephant in front of us now, with his face like on the front of the windscreen. I mean, he's not quite that close, but he starts walking towards us, big old tusk swinging away, and he's like, his ears are flapping, and he's like, he's going slow, but he's coming. So we're like, we're gonna have to reverse here, aren't we? Turn around, we can't reverse. Oh, why? Because we're at the front of the traffic. So now there's loads of cars behind us who are not reversing. There's people sat out on their window, like they rolled the window down and they sat their bum on the window bit and they're hanging out with like their cameras taking photos, and we're like, oh, we're about to die. I understand that you want to record this, I would be the same, but please reverse, you know. It was like, it was stressful. So we're all screaming out the back. Well, I say we, again me, I'm there with my camera like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. But the girls in the back behind me are like, get out the effing way, oh my god, move, they're like screaming. So they start to reverse a little bit, and we're like, oh thank god, and we reverse, and this elephant's getting damn close, alright. And if you've seen any videos on the internet, you know that elephants will tip the vehicle and trample it. I'm not surviving if there's a big elephant stood on me, especially this one, he was massive. Not that any elephant could stand on me and I'd live, you know. I'm getting emotional, like I'm getting like a bit high rate, I need to chill out for a minute. I feel like I'm back there. This was like 2 years ago. I haven't watched the footage yet, I should have watched that first. Actually no, that'll stress me out even more. Oh god, this video is 16 minutes long already. Okay. So, where was I? We start reversing, okay? Then they all stop, all the cars behind us, they just stop and they get back up to take more photos. Now this elephant is speeding up, he's like doing like a trot almost, and he gets close. Like at one point his tusk is like less than a metre from the car, like not even a joke, you can see it in the video. I won't include the whole thing because it's like half an hour long. Yeah, this went on for half an hour, right? Basically we keep going down backwards, like reversing for like miles. It keeps going on and on and on. Every so often he would go off and like be like, oh, a tree, yum 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 yum, lovely for me, and then he'd turn back, and just as we're trying to sneak past him, he'd turn back and be like, oh hey guys, you think I forgot about you? Well no, here I come again. And then he was coming at us again. I'm getting the hiccups, I'm getting just too energetic. Yeah, he's coming at us again. I got so bad. I have to wait. Ugh. Anyway, hiccups are gone, I think. So he follows us all the way down this road. I mean, if you've been to Kruger, you know that it is amazing, yes, but also I feel like it's really easy to get lost there. I don't know how people even find their way around. I wouldn't know what I was doing. I mean, there's roads, but you know, it's like massive, you know. It's not like Longleat where you just drive around and there's a sign. It's like, oh, don't get out of your car. There's a lion. You know, it's like you're on your own in the like forest. What do they call it in Africa? Not a forest. I don't know. I'm just too. What was I even talking about now? Oh, this is why I shouldn't do story times. I'm rubbish at telling stories. It's all just like blah, blah, blah. I'll skip it. Basically, we went down the road for a good 20 minutes, and that's a long time when you're running away from an elephant. And we didn't really know what we were going to do because this elephant just would not leave us alone. We tried so many different things. We tried like swerving, pulling right up to the edge so it could go past. Just loads of things we tried. Every time he moved, we tried to do like the zoom round like we did with the other elephant before. I mean, I wouldn't want to do that with this guy because he was big and he had big tusks. Like he would right through that fabric door, right through blimmin' Rhiannon next to me, bless her. Yeah, so this went on for ages. It kept stopping and starting, kept shouting at people. Girl next to me, can't even remember her name now, she starts sobbing, like proper sobbing. I don't know her, so I'm like not comforting her. I'm just like, I'm trying to film the elephant. Like, I'm enjoying myself here. Don't cry about it, it's all right. I know, to be fair, it was really scary. But she was sobbing. She starts crying and she says, I didn't get to say goodbye to Mr. Tubbington. That's her cat. Which I understand, but like, that's not what you should be thinking about now. Okay, I understand. I kind of understand, but it was really like, I was trying not to laugh, which is really mean. I know that's horrible, but, because she was really upset, but she didn't want to be there. She was not a nice person. No offense if she ever watches this. I can't even remember your name, but you kind of ruined the trip for everyone. Everyone agrees. Because she didn't want to be there. But yeah, she's crying and she's like, I didn't get to say goodbye to Mr. Tubbington, and everyone's like, okay, I know you missed your cat. I miss my dog, but it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Anyway, I think I got that on camera actually. I mean, I got her saying it on camera, but I don't know if I'll include that. That's not very fair. It's her life, not mine. Oh no, my battery's flashing. I have so much more story to tell. Ah! I'm just gonna keep talking. Anyway, so we kept reversing all the way back. Then this elephant got damn close. Like, he was right up in our faces. I couldn't see anything out the windscreen area, like it's just open, but you know what I mean, the front. It was just his head that filled up the front, and I was like, damn, this might actually be it. And I was trying to think how am I going to get out? Because I probably won't die on impact if he flips the car. I might be injured, might get a broken leg, but I probably won't die. You know, this is all going through my head, and I was like, if he tramples it, if I survive, where do I go? We're in the middle of nowhere. Everyone's reversed off now. They've all gone. They've run away. They know they're not stupid. They're not Rudy. Bless him. I loved him. He's not stupid, but he was a bit stupid sometimes. So we kept going. Now, this is Rudy's genius moment. The whole way, by the way. He's in the front like, don't worry. If it wanted to kill us, it would kill us by now. It would have killed us. And we're like, oh, that's really helpful, Rudy. And he's like, he's not aggressive. He's not even aggressive. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure he is. Like, he's aggressive. And he's like, we're like, he's flapping his ears. Isn't that a sign of like aggression to make them look like, you know? And he's like, no, it means they're calm. That's what calm elephants look like. And we're like, oh, okay, thanks, Rudy. You know everything, so we'll trust you in this situation. We'll just remain calm. Thanks, Rudy. Don't worry about it, boy. And we just sat down. Not that we stood up. We just like chilled out. We're all like, it's fine. Rudy's got this. He's got this. We pull up, and this is a last resort kind of thing. Like, we didn't know what else to do. This elephant had been chasing us for like almost half an hour now. He's right up in our faces. Rudy does one of the most scary things I've ever been a part of. He reverses into the bush. Now, okay, we're on a road, all right? It's a road. We're in Kruger, so it's a road. Reverses off of the road into the bush, like the bush, you know, like the outback. No, that's Australia. The bush. You get what I mean. Now, we run over like trees. He reverses right up. He goes really quickly, so it's just like, and we're like, what are you doing? And he didn't give anyone any warning. We just suddenly were in the bush, and I was like, oh my god, this is it. We will die now. And the elephant turned towards us and started coming towards us, and everyone was literally like like, the people that were crying were like crying at this point, and then everyone just went silent, like, you know, it was like, this elephant is about to get us now. There's nothing, we can't go anywhere, we couldn't reverse anywhere, we can't go forward, there's an elephant in front of us. We couldn't go sideways because that's not how cars move. And Rudy all of a sudden goes, hey, go away! That was a really bad accent, sorry. He slams the side of the door of his car, starts smacking it, and the elephant like goes, whoa, like, alright mate, just kind of wanted to say hey, what are you shouting at me for? And he goes, go away, go. Like, his accent's getting less and less African every time I try and do it. And he starts smacking and shouting at the elephant to go away. And you would not believe it, but it worked. And the elephant's just like, well, alright then mate, I'll just go over here. And we just drive off. And we don't stop talking about it for the next 2 weeks and the rest of our lives, and it worked. And as we're driving off, Rudy says, like, we're like, wow, you remain so calm throughout that. And he's like, are you joking? I need a cigarette. And then we have to like pull over, and he gets out and has a cigarette in the middle of the freaking Kruger National Park, which you're not supposed to get out of the car. Surprised he didn't get like killed by a lion. And he basically tells us afterwards that he was terrified the whole time. Nothing like that's ever happened to him before. He didn't know what to do. And we were like, how did you know that would work? And he's like, I didn't. And we're like, you would risk our lives? Thank God it did work, you know? And he's like, yeah, the elephant was really aggressive. He had all the signs of being aggressive. He was just saying that before to try and calm us down, which is nice of him. It kind of worked. But like afterwards we were like, what? You lied to us? Oh my God. And it was mental. It was so crazy. But also probably the coolest thing that's ever happened to me, I'd say, you know? It was damn cool. Elephants are cool. Also, no hate to elephants on this video. I love elephants. Even the two that were like a little bit like, whoa, trying to kill me, or what are you doing, trying to do here? They were amazing. The rhino was sick. Everyone was great. End of story.
He's just walking down the road on purpose, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. It's being lazy can do this.
Okay, let's just let him
If I had another game gear vehicle, we could have stopped together here and he would have gone around us.
No,
He's lazy can do.
This has been going on for about 10 minutes now.
He's not aggressive. You can see he's not aggressive.
He's not aggressive until he fucking charges us. Come on, just kill him. Come on, just go.
No, he didn't want to kill us yesterday. If he wanted to kill us yesterday, he would have.
What is he actually doing then?
Rudy, please go back. Keep going, keep going, keep going, please keep going, keep going.
Does this keep happening to us? Just trying to enjoy it. I've got a memory on my phone, so I can't feel it. I've got it, John. It's fine, I've got it. I just can't feel it. Stop it. Don't take a bunch of topics. Just keep going. Keep going. Oh my God, keep going.
You got a fraud. You see, you got a fraud.
Yeah, we've got a few kids here in the back having a fight. It's alright, Steph. It's alright.
I didn't say what?
What?
I didn't say goodbye to a cat. Sorry, this is fucking hilarious.
Now, go and eat something.
Can we not drive past?
Can we not go past it though, Rudy?
Please.
Okay.
Pause.
It's not going to.
It takes a few steps into the bush and we'll drive past.
This video is taken.
I'm not going to put your lives in danger. Please.
Why is he being so
car behind you. The other side. Can we go around it, please? What are they doing?
Oh god, oh god, oh god, no. All the cars are done.
Fucking traffic jam. It's alright, they're all going the right way now, don't worry.
Except us.
Yeah, it's one different. We have to turn around.
Move! Stupid fuck. Do you want to die?
Oh my god.
Oh god, oh, this makes so
Yeah, literally. Oh my god.
all the wheel down.
No, it's so
Task is really blunt as well. Imagine that going through your head.
I swear to God, if it hits me. It's pissing me. Why is it doing this? Why are these guys still following me? People take photos like, ooh, this is fun. No, get out of the way.
This happens well. Never come back to Africa. All these stupid people trying to take pictures of girls.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I hate really piss myself.
I'm gonna give them some space, see if that works.
Those cars are getting closer. I don't think it's working.
What these stupid people do.
This is not the birthday surprise I had mine, guys. Shit. Keep going, Ruby. Keep going, Ruby.
Yeah, but listen, this is the thing. I'm trying to get him to go off.
Oh, it's not going off.
On the post. He's like smiling. You're fucking fun, you know.
Come to me. Stop doing twice on.
Everything is pissed. I've got tissues in my bag.
Why is it in the bush? Oh, no. Oh, God. I'm going to die.
It's so fucking funny.
Why is it so obsessed with? Can you close this?
It's just ridiculous.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god, no.
Hey! No!
Yes.
Just chill, please. It's fine.
You know what? This will probably die, but I'm gonna keep talking because I'm enjoying remembering like Africa because it was amazing. I will tell the story of the spitting cobra. Dun dun dun. So this was at Samkonda Game Reserve, I believe. Which was, it's kind of like a family run place. It was really nice there, it was really beautiful. But we stayed in tents there. And staying in a tent in Africa, it was actually fine, but like, it sounds terrifying. Because you don't, like, if you're from England anyway, if you're from anywhere else in the world, you're like, we've got all this stuff here, don't worry about it. But from England, like, we have nothing, like, so I was like, oh, this is a bit like, well, nothing scary anyway. We get stung by a wasp when we cry. Whereas like in Africa, you have like a warthog running in, and then like you turn around, there's a leopard there. It's like, oh, even the spiders kill you, you know, like it's crazy. It's almost Australia, but not quite. So we were in these tents, and there was an odd number, so I ended up getting a tent to myself, which I was very happy about because it meant I had 2 beds in there, and I put all my stuff on one bed, and then like I slept on the other bed, so it was nice. I say beds, they were just like mats on the floor. It was a tent, it was a proper tent, you know. And also, when it gets dark in Africa, like, it gets dark. Like, and also this was in Africa's, like, winter time. So it was meant to be cold, but I'm from England, so I was in shorts all the time, you know. I saw African people going around with their woolly hats and scarves on, and I was like, what? It's so hot here. But they were like, it's winter. I was like, oh. Anyway, what am I talking about now? So, I was in this little tent, right? The way it was laid out, the tents were in one place. You had like a little pathway and like steps going down, and you keep going down all these steps through like the dark forest, you know, you're in the middle of the forest still, and there's like loads of steps, and you weren't allowed to go out on your own because like in case you die, you know, someone needs to let you know, so we weren't allowed to go on our own anywhere. And then the steps go down to like there's a pool, and which no one went in, but it was cool that there was a pool there, and then there's like the main bit where there's the table and chairs and that where we eat and stuff. It was amazing, the view was amazing, it was amazing. Then if you're back at the campsite here, you go up some stairs. Again, I say stairs very loosely, it's like a few logs, you know, that break as you step on them, and it's terrifying in the dark because you can't see anything. I had to use my phone torch as everything, and my phone would just die. That's such like a first world problem. Anyway, you go up the stairs, and then there's the shower cubicles. Now, I'm going to use the term shower cubicles also very loosely. The showers were actually alright, to be fair. That was my chair, just saying. It was well built, you know, it was nice. It was like just wooden blocks, but nothing had doors on it. The toilets were also up there. They did not have doors. So you walk up, there's like a gap where the door is, and then the toilet's like here, so you go in and round to the toilet. But like anyone can just stand there and be like, oh hey, are you pooping or what? And that's terrifying. Also the sink was like covered in like bugs, so you couldn't really wash your hands properly either. Everything was a bit like, I'm gonna get some sort of illness from this, or someone's gonna see me wee and I don't want anyone to see my bum, you know, it was like that kind of thing. Same thing with the showers, but then you're a lot more naked in the shower, so I wore a swimsuit just in case. And one night I wanted to go up to the tent because I wanted to have a shower. I think this was actually the night before we left to come back home to England. And I really wanted to wash my hair the night before because it was really gross, and I wanted to just plait it so I could wear it on the plane. And I said to the other girls like, hey, I kind of want to go and have a shower, and they were like, oh, I'm not showering, we're going home tomorrow. And I was like, I'm kind of gross, I really would quite like to have a wash before I go. So I was like, what am I going to do? So I was like, you know what, we're not allowed to walk on our own, but just this one time, even though it's pitch black, I'll go on my own, it's fine. So I walked up on my own to this, back up to the tents. These people weren't really my friends, so they were just like, yeah, go on, whatever, I don't care. And I was like, oh, cool guys. Okay, my camera just stopped then for some reason, but I'm gonna quickly try and finish this story. So anyway, these guys are like, hey, yeah, go on, I'll die, whatever, it's fine, cool. So I left them and I went up on my own, which is a stupid idea, but it's fine, it worked out okay. I'm still here, aren't I? And I got up to my tent and I was like, I got in the tent and I was like, oh, it's dark, like it is dark. And I don't have any lights, like I can't hold my phone light when I'm in the shower, so I was like, not really sure I want to be a part of this whole shower situation when it's this dark. So in the end I didn't actually go up to the shower. I was like, you know what, I'll just go to bed, it's fine. We're going home tomorrow anyway, it's fine, I can have gross hair for another day. And I was like, I was umming and ahhing about it for ages, right? Anyway, the next morning, I find out, well actually after that to be fair, I heard loads of commotion and I was like, that's strange. Well, it's like while I was laying in bed and I was like, what's going on up there? And like, people kept walking past and it was really late at night, so I was like, this is weird, why do people keep walking past? And I asked people in the morning like, what happened last night? Why was everyone running up and down? And what happened, at the time, they told me the time it happened, it was literally like less than half an hour after the time I was meant to go in the shower. Thank God I did not go in the shower, because it would have been me, basically. It just definitely would have been me. The cleaner for the showers at this place, she went into the shower, walked around a corner, did not know, but there was a spitting cobra on the floor, and it reared up and spat in her eyes. The cleaner's eyes, bless her, poor lady. I bet that hurt so much. She could have been blind. Like, I don't actually know what happened to her in the end. She could be blind now for all I know. I know that they poured a lot of milk in her eyes, and then they called like the hospital, which was an hour drive away. And they had this hospital, well, any hospital was an hour away, but this one had the antidote thing for the venom or something, I don't know. It's like anti-venom, I think. And they had to drive her up there for an hour, like an hour's drive. So she had to have this stuff in her eyes for an hour, and they had to put milk in it. And she had to like have a cup of milk on her eye like that. I just can't believe that could have been me. Like, I wouldn't have been coming home. I would have been in an African hospital with like possibly blind because of a stupid shower. Well, a snake, but scary stuff. So basically, I nearly died a few times in Africa. I mean, it's a bit dramatic to say, but it could have happened, but, you know, I was very fortunate. I don't think that lady did go blind, to be fair. I think they said if they got her there and gave her the anti-venom or whatever it's called, it would have been fine. So fingers crossed it's fine for her sake, but I don't know. That was a roller coaster of, like, feelings. Have some more nice African pictures. There you go. Enjoy those. Right then. I think that's all I'm going to say about Africa. I think they were the only near-death experiences. I mean, I'm sure I'll think of more. If you want to know more about my Africa trip, then let me know. I've got lots of pictures, and I wrote down a diary every day so I can tell you exactly what I did, exactly what I ate, exactly what I did every day, what time we did stuff. You know, I was a bit of a weirdo. I had like, yeah. But maybe I'll do that one day. Let me know what you want. Let me know if you want more story times. I liked sitting here telling the story. That was fun. It's just nice to like remember stuff, really, I guess. I'm really like not central. Is that annoying? It's annoying me. I can see myself. Anyway. Yeah, let me know what you want, guys. Please, could you subscribe? We just hit 100 subscribers. I say just, we're now on 120. Let's keep it going because it's very cool and it's making me very happy. And also, could you like the video, because that also makes me happy. And comment and say, hey, what do you want me to film? Don't say that because that would be dumb. Say what you want me to film. And I'll do it. Because I am a performing lady.